Good morning, everyone. And here we are at SAVE's first live stream to commemorate National Domestic Violence and Awareness Month. We are so excited. It's October 1st, and I'm so happy that it's happening on a Friday when we normally do our live streams. It gives us a chance to really come together and talk about what it is SAVE's going to be doing. And I'm joined here today by Deepti Warrior and Leslie Garcia, who are both SAVE advocates. And we will be having a conversation. So settle down, maybe grab some coffee. We're going to be live for about 30 minutes or so. And I hope in that 30 minutes, you will feel energized and inspired to join the movement, join the commemorations that we're doing this month, and also learn about what we're offering, events that you could join and be part of the SAVE family in October. So I'm going to open the floor up to my colleagues, but I realized that I didn't introduce myself. So if you don't know me, if you've not seen enough live streams by me already, I'm Shaila. I am SAVE's Community Engagement Manager, and I'm honored to be in conversation with my fellow advocates today. So Leslie or Deepti, whoever would like to maybe share a little bit about what you do at SAVE, and then, why do you feel this month is important?
Go ahead, Leslie.
My name is Leslie. My pronouns are she, they. I have been with SAVE for about 2 years now. And my title is Client Support Advocate at SAVE. You've probably seen me in another of these Friday live streams when I did with my colleague Jerica back in June, I think.
Yes.
A little bit of what I do is I'm the first person that folks see when they walk in through the door. I go ahead and sit down with our clients, offer them some food, some coffee, some tea, and I sit down and take time to get to know them and inquire about what they're looking for, what kind of services we can offer them.
Can I just say it's really wonderful to watch you, and what you do is so important for clients coming in to feel that they are I rarely get to say it. So let me say that you do a wonderful job. And I think it speaks to SAVE's values of being welcoming, of centering survivors and our clients when they walk in, and truly working from a place of commitment to the work we've started doing. So thank you, Leslie. And Deepti.
So true, Shaila. I just want to chime in that that is so true about Leslie. And even when clients come to see me, and if she's not sitting at the front desk, they'll say, "Where did she go? Why is she not here today?" So truly, she's truly loved by all of our clients.
I've had the same experience on the phone as well. If I answer the front desk phone, see, today is a good day, Leslie. See, this is good.
I'm gonna see myself out right now.
Deepti, tell us more about what you do.
Hi, everyone. And Shaila, thank you for having me on this live. I think it's my first ever live with SAVE, and I'm a little bit nervous. I've been with SAVE for about 1.5 years, and I work as the Housing First case manager, supporting survivors with need for with any housing needs that they have, so rent, utilities, advocacy with other agencies and systems, as well as we do some workshops for financial literacy and career training, etc. So that's what I do.
Equally well, may I say. This is where me and I get to now say how wonderful you are.
You go above and beyond for people, so I think you deserve some of that as well.
Stop.
Yes.
Stop.
No.
Thank you.
No.
Stop.
So I think, I talked about how this is October. It's an important and meaningful month for us. Maybe if you could just briefly talk about what it means to you both. You are both providing direct service. You are with clients. You're interacting one-on-one. That's why we thought it would be a good idea to start with what it is you do. And so how does this month feel to you? How is it landing, and why is it important?
So I don't think we need a month, a specific month to create awareness about an issue as important as domestic violence because it's so pervasive in our communities. However, October does give us a chance to honor survivors and center survivors, as well as advocates, I think, recommit and broaden and strengthen our service to survivors. And also create awareness in the community, bring forward certain topical issues that survivors are facing, especially during the pandemic and the times that we're in. So I think it's important to center survivors during this month. And I would like to share a little bit about why October. It started off in 1981 as a Day of Unity by the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, which then was expanded to a week, and then in 87 to a whole month. So that's kind of how I see the month and why we celebrate.
And I appreciate the history and the research you got in, because we all talk about it, but it's always a good reminder to kind of go back and say, where did it all start? So thank you, Deepti. Leslie, tell us about how this month's feeling. I mean, I know it's just the 1st of October, but how, there's a whole month ahead.
Well, other than it being my favorite time of the year, Halloween is at the end of this month. We should not forget about that. Most importantly, DV Awareness Month, I think, is probably one of the most important months of that we can dedicate something to. And unlike Deepti, I didn't come prepared with research about, what it is. But I do firmly believe, taking the time to remember and recommit to why we're in this movement in the first place. To me, this month signifies the opportunity to spread knowledge and knowledge and education to communities that would have normally not been as receptive as to learning some of the stuff, the intricacies and the nuances that certain communities face. In the live stream that I did with Jericho, we were talking about how IPV shows up in LGBTQ plus communities and how it's nuanced, right? There's a lot of similarities, and there's also particular obstacles and hoops we have to go through in order to receive services if we ever do. So I think, this month is a great opportunity for folks who would have normally not been able to access this information can go ahead and learn something. And I hope that you're able to, share this with folks who you think could learn something new.
Absolutely. And I feel that's a really great segue for us to talk a little bit about the events that we are, you were both on the planning committee for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I really appreciate all your support and thought into the process. I think at SAVE, we worked hard to pull together something that is meaningful to everyone who's involved in the movement, survivors, community, advocates, and really not even see those boundaries. Actually, everybody, you could be one, both, or all. Deepti, maybe perhaps if you'd like to share, and I'll try and pull up the flyers as well, so we have a visual for it. I think it would be really great if we could have a very quick overview of what is it that we're doing in SAVE this month.
Sure. Yeah, and I think the agency kind of came together as a whole. People from youth services, housing team, the front office folks, everybody came together to kind of make this, plan for the events. And the first event is tonight from 6 to 7:30. It's an open house where you get to see the way our empowerment center functions, meet some of our staff, and hear about our services and programs, as well as how we pivoted during the pandemic. Etc. And I think the second one is October 12th. It is a candlelight vigil. And I forgot to mention that it's a virtual open house on Zoom. And the second event is in person. It's a candlelight vigil in front of Fremont City Hall on October 12th. And it is from 5:30 to 7. And then we have a garden of self-care for advocates offered by Beatriz. And that is basically bringing together advocates from different agencies in the Bay Area and sort of connecting and creating a time and space for self-care, because it is so important for advocates to kind of take a breather, especially because of the kind of work that we all do day in and day out. So that is the other exciting event that we have on October 29th.
Yes, and we've scheduled it during lunch hour, so we are hoping advocates are able to come in and really participate in this link, the circle of self-care. So thank you, Deepti. So these are some of them. We will be having live streams every Friday. We are hoping to go live with advocates from SAVE, so you can see the work we do and hear the thoughts and emotions and commitment from different people in our, sometimes it just becomes 2 or 3 people who are visible, but there's a whole team at SAVE. So really hoping this month we can get everyone involved and talking. And before we end the live stream, though, I do think that, all 3 of us have these banners up saying everyone knows someone. Yes. Some flowers and some banners, everything purple, because purple is the color of the month. And everyone knows someone is the theme that we are participating in and we are honoring and really joining the larger national movement with. So would love to hear from both of you, given all the work you do and your life experiences. How does this show up for you? How does everyone know someone, and does that in any way impact why and how you're showing up in the movement, and how you continue every day? I know lots of questions, but we can parse it.
Leslie, go for it.
Okay. For me, everybody knows someone. I had to ask, if we're talking specifically about, intimate partner violence or talking about the gender-based movement as a whole. And we're talking about intimate partner violence. But at the end of the day, it also stems from gender-based violence, right? It being the overall pandemic that we're attacking and that we're trying to eradicate is gender-based violence. I mean, we're talking about missing and murdered Indigenous women. That's coming up, and there's going to be webinars about that. There's also Ni Una Más, which is the Latin American movement of, missing and murdered women in Latin America. I mean, it's pervasive everywhere, and it starts as intimate partner violence and it transforms into something bigger and more elusive and nuanced. And for me, I'm in this work because I want to see women or people who identify as women, femme people, be safe, be able to be themselves and be able to express themselves and be able to walk out into the world, walk down the street and not having to be worried whether or not they're going to make it home, and to stop this culture of blaming the victim. This whole month is to uplift and serve people who are survivors, is to uplift their voices. Everybody knows someone. That in itself is the tagline of the year. And I think we should really put where your money, where your mouth is, and uplift people who are survivors of gender-based violence, of intimate partner violence, right? They are the leaders and the experts in this movement because they're the ones who have firsthand experience. And, some of us are just here to support that and want to uplift that work. And other of us are survivors as well, wanting to do better and be better and do good by those folks who are no longer with us. So I think for me, I think the community can do so much to be able to support folks.
Thank you, Leslie. I really want to especially appreciate the call out you made to the intersectionality and the broader movement that we are all part of, because we tend to separate ourselves often into boxes and labels and tracks and missions, but really there is a broader movement, and really the way oppression and control works is the same in the end. The dynamics are the same, whether they're playing out between people or larger systems or between populations, and I really appreciate that lens. So thank you so much. And thank you also for directing us to other places and where we could be leaning in to learn more. Thank you. Deepti, how about you?
Yeah, I think that what Leslie said just now was really powerful. And it has actually taken me doing this work for the last year or so, realize that as a woman, I have always safety planned. And this is something that we often tell our the folks we serve as a means to sort of just cope through the day or cope through the evening, to get through the evening or that particular day when they are with the person who harms them. And I realize that, wait, I've been doing this every single day when I walk to the bus stop, and so I think that's a great point, Leslie, about how it is just, it's in the fabric of our society, and it's going to take so much more to sort of rid us of these of what is normative in our society and kind of break this cycle of violence. For me, everyone knows someone. I think it's precisely that. I think from the time we were little, we've always heard of somebody who's in a situation, close family members, friends, your best friends, parents. There's so much turmoil in somebody's life, and it's just something that's almost taken for granted, and it is something private, and for them to deal with. It's not something that other people go and interfere in, because it's a family matter. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it is, and it truly isn't, because it breaks one person, their freedoms, their financial stability, their agency, and so much more, and confidence, and just making their way in the world. So I think the community, as a community, often we are silent when we see cycles of abuse play out in front of us. But I think I've been sort of trying to flip it around and think that, well, so if everybody knows somebody, then we each have a chance to actually do something about it. And so support survivors in the way they need, listen without judgment. These are all things we can do. And then, if possible, go that step beyond, maybe offer offer childcare to somebody when they need it, or like tangible things that folks need just to get through the day. If somebody wants to have a surgery, they can't have it because they have children to take care of and they have no support. So I think being that each one of us in the community can be that person who supports survivors. So I think that's for me. Everyone knows someone.
Yes, thank you. That was very powerful. Actually, I can't think of a better note to actually close our conversation today than the call you've made to our entire community, Deepti, to get involved. Truly, if everyone knows someone, that means each of us has a place where we can make a difference and really make an impact. So I want to thank you both for coming and joining and, spending some precious time just sharing your perspective and what this month means to you. And Deepti, thank you for walking us through the events. I hope we will see everybody tonight at our open house. We will post the link on our social media again to RSVP. And I just want to close this conversation with a quick reminder of something we say all the time, but I feel it's just not said enough, that domestic violence is not just physical. It's a pattern of abuse. It can be mental, it can be emotional, it can be, financial, there are so many ways for it to play out, spiritual. So if you or anyone feels that you are in a relationship with an intimate partner that is not healthy, our crisis line is 24/7. It's confidential. Trained advocates, including all of us, are always available to have a conversation. You don't have to make a decision. You're not reporting anything. It's okay to have a conversation to say what is going on. And so if you want to call us, our confidential crisis line is 510-794-6055. We are here to support you. You're not alone. Thank you, Deepti and Leslie, for joining us today.
Thanks, Shailaja.